यासिर शुरू कर लेते हैं। मेरे ख्याल में आज थोड़ा सा मुझे कोशिश करूंगा, क्योंकि लेक्चर भी थोड़ा लंबा है और शायद 2 4 5 मिनट पहले ख़त्म करना हो।
बिल्कुल सर, स्टार्ट कर ले।
चले। So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to this class. This is lecture number 8, uh, Project Monitoring and Control using Earned Value Management, EVM. It is also called S-curve. Today you will see it is very, very interesting lecture. It is a very practical way of doing the things, measuring the things, reporting the things, forecasting. So it is very, very, I would say, critical to understand this because it can be easily deployed. I've been seeing a lot of projects in the field. I mean, I'm not a project manager that I see each and every project, but as a professional, uh, a very limited number of projects when I see, I have yet to see in local, in local projects that somebody is implementing these type of tools. There will be companies who will be doing it, but I have yet to see. I mean, on operating on the local level. So let's go and see the topics. So project control will be, you should be able to explain project control, what is earned value management, S-curve, and also evaluate the project monitoring and control using S-curves. So this is the objective of our today's lecture. Okay. So project control is the process of comparing actual performance against plan to identify deviations, evaluate possible alternative course of actions, and take appropriate corrective actions. Again, I will stress, please don't try to cram, please don't try to remember just these 4 lines or the next coming paragraph. That is not the point. You have to understand the basic principle behind these 4 lines, for example. From the practical perspective, it is only way of communicating this English which is in front of you, these sentences in front of you are not meant only for remembering, but these are meant actually to understand the fundamental which is being told. So let me now try to explain. It says project control. Now control means the project is launched. You are the project engineer, you are the planning manager, who's whatever your role assume, and you are in the middle of the project and you have to control the project. You have to steer the project. Just like when you're driving a car or motorbike, so you are controlling it. Every now and then the situation on road is changing. You are moving on, you start from your home, maybe the small street is empty, but there are speed breakers, there is a turn, so you keep your speed very low, maybe 5 kilometer per hour, 10 kilometer per hour, depends upon the locality, for example. And then you take a turn, you enter into a bigger street, and then you reach to highway, and then you are traveling at 120 kilometers per hour. So you see, from your home to the motorway, you have done the control in order to arrive to the motorway. On the way, if there were red lights, you stopped on those red lights. If there are some pedestrian crossing, you stopped to allow them to cross. There was somebody who was driving rash, unplanned, and all of a sudden you had to pull and stop the vehicle. At certain places, you had to slightly accelerate to overtake. So this is all control. Exactly in the similar fashion, in a project, you have to steer it. Sometimes you have to push the pedal and make the activities go fast, which are manageable, doable, so that you save time. And certain places, when there are issues, you put the brakes on the activities, you slow them down at certain points, not the whole project. Unless if there is a very serious problem in your project planning, some fundamentals are wrong, maybe you have to put a complete halt on that. But you can imagine that that will be a big, big challenge. So the point which I'm trying to make is that in project control, it is a process of comparing actual performance against the plan. So you had the baseline. Bilawal, do you remember the baseline? Bilawal Ali. Bilawal. Bilawal. Bilawal is absent. Bilawal is absent. Hassan Idris. Hassan Idris.
Yes, sir.
आपको बेस लाइन याद है?
No, sir.
सही. हसन शहजाद. हसन शहजाद.
Yes, sir.
हसन को याद है?
जी बेस लाइन
जी जी.
नहीं सर, मुझे याद नहीं है.
नहीं है याद. ओके. शफीउल्लाह.
यस सर.
बेस लाइन याद है?
सर वो ग्राफ जो था ना सर.
आई डोंट नो शफीउल्लाह.
हेलो सर, ग्राफ वो जो था ना बेस लाइन वाला सर.
आई डोंट नो. आप एक्सप्लेन करेंगे तो पता चलेगा. आप मुझसे पूछ रहे हो उल्टा. सारा उस्मान.
जी सर.
आपको याद है बेस लाइन?
सर बेसलाइन कंडीशंस जो कि हमारे पास एग्जिस्टिंग कंडीशंस होती है, ये जो हमारे पास स्टार्टिंग कंडीशंस होती है.
ओके. समरा.
यस सर.
कुछ याद है आपको बेस लाइन क्या है?
सर जो ओरिजिनल कंडीशंस ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट होती हैं, जिससे अगर थोड़ी बहुत डेविएशन हो तो फिर हम उससे कहते हैं कि प्रोजेक्ट की कंडीशंस में चेंजेस आ गए हैं.
चलें ठीक है. जबीउल्ला लेट आ रहे हैं. आपने फिर लेट आना शुरू किया. जबीउल्ला. सीआर.
जी सर.
क्यों खैरियत? लास्ट टाइम भी लेट थे, आज भी लेट हैं.
सर पता नहीं.
माइक बंद कर दिया है, माइक ओपन करें. पता क्या नहीं है?
सर बस 5-6 मिनट लेट हो गए सर.
नहीं ना यार, कल आप फील्ड में होंगे, कंक्रीटिंग करनी होगी, पूरी टीम खड़ी होगी. जबीउल्ला साइट इंस्पेक्टर जो है, ये साइट इंजीनियर मौजूद ही नहीं होगा, सारा काम रुका हुआ होगा. और अगर उन्होंने आपकी गैर मौजूदगी में कंक्रीटिंग कर दी और क्वालिटी का मसला हो गया, बस फिर खैर नहीं है आपकी.
जी सर.
हाँ जबीउल्ला, हम तो इस तरह समझाएंगे, अब ये तो नहीं समझाएंगे कि अब फाइनल ईयर में कि भाई आप क्यों लेट हैं. वक्त पे आना बड़ी अच्छी बात है. हम तो आपको सिविल इंजीनियरिंग के हवाले से बताएंगे क्या होगा लेट आने पे. हम कंट्रैक्टर हैं, हम जल्दी जल्दी कहेंगे कि सुबह 8 बजे का टाइम तय था कंक्रीटिंग का, तो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर साहब या साइट सुपरवाइजर या साइट इंजीनियर जबीउल्ला जो है, उनको तो 7:30 बजे पहुंचना था, ओवरऑल चेक करना था, गो एड करना था. तो बस हमने तो सारा कुछ अरेंजमेंट की हुई है, बस करो स्टार्ट. जबीउल्ला जब आएगा तो फिर देखेंगे. जब हमने कंक्रीट कर दी, फिर जबीउल्ला कैसे कहेगा कि जी आपने गलत किया, मेरा इंतजार करना था. और हम कंक्रीटिंग कर देंगे और खुदा ना खास्ता उसमें फर्क हुआ तो बस फिर तो आपको भरना पड़ेगा.
जी सर बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है.
अच्छा चलें. बेस लाइन का पता है जबीउल्ला कि नहीं?
नहीं सर कुछ आइडिया नहीं है.
नहीं पता है, नहीं पता है. रैम है. रैम रात को सोते हैं तो रैम वॉश हो जाती है, सुबह उठते हैं तो बिल्कुल फ्रेश मेमोरी में वॉश. हाँ क्या ख्याल है, ठीक कहा कि गलत? आसिम हसन. आसिम हसन.
यस सर.
बेस लाइन.
सर बेस लाइन मतलब वो कंडीशंस होते हैं जो मतलब प्रोजेक्ट के शुरू होने से पहले मतलब जो मतलब एग्जिस्टिंग कंडीशंस होते हैं सर.
अच्छा ठीक है. बिलावल वापस आया कि बिलावल अभी भी सोया हुआ है? बिलावल अली. बिलावल. जबीउल्ला बिलावल को एब्सेंट मार्क करें. आज अटेंडेंस भेजेंगे तो साथ में भेजें कि सर ने कहा है कि बिलावल इज एब्सेंट, बिलावल अली इज नॉट प्रेजेंट.
जी सर सही है सर.
ठीक है, उसमें क्रॉस लगाएं, वॉइस नोट करें या मैसेज करें क्योंकि ही इज नॉट अवेलेबल.
जी सर मैं
ठीक है.
कर दूंगा सर.
Okay, let's move. So baseline is the original plan which you made, you finalized, then you spoke with your client, you spoke with the stakeholders, everybody agreed that this project plan is perfect to start. So you freeze that, you fix that, you set it as a baseline. So the original final plan, according to which now you are moving, actually you have to have some project plan. So that plan which you are going to follow is the baseline. Then when you are actually in the field, there will be deviations. You can see it is saying that project control is the process of comparing the actual performance against plan to identify deviation against plan. So this is the baseline. We were supposed to do the concreting of 100 columns in 3 days, but in reality we completed in 4 days. It is a deviation plus 1 day extra. 100 columns were required to be poured in 3 days. You completed them in 2.5 days or 2 days, for example. So minus 1 day, you are ahead of your schedule, and so on. So baseline. So your original plan. To identify the deviation. So all the time you are finding the delta. Delta means, delta is nothing but in mathematics we use delta as a symbol of difference between the two values. So the original plan versus the actual, what is happening is the difference, is the deviation. Ideally it should be 0 or should be in minus. Minus means you're ahead of your schedule. Sometimes it will be positive, means you will be slightly delayed. So there will be some delays, there will be some early times, but in overall you should be able to complete the project in time. So what is the purpose? You are evaluating the possible alternatives of course of actions. So the reason is what? So when there are something is happening, you are getting delayed, you will try to find out what could be the alternative ways. Should you deploy certain resources, rearrange them or whatever, so that your course of action remains the same without any delay, and take appropriate corrective actions. So definitely. So this is project control. Now you should understand it practically. You should not just remember it. Please, अगर आपने ये 4 लाइनें जमा करके कल फील्ड में उतर गए without actually knowing, so it is of no value, 0 value. You have to understand what it means. The project control steps for measuring and evaluating project performance are presented below. So let's see what are those. Number 1, setting a baseline. I just emphasize on that. So let me not re-emphasize. The first step is the baseline. Measuring progress and performance on daily basis. I've been giving hundreds of examples that in a road project, cutting is happening, cutting off the road, existing road, blasting, for example, of the stone area, clearing and grubbing, and so on. Culverts are being built, and so many things. So on daily basis, almost, you will be measuring your progress, your performance. Comparing plan against actual. Now you are able to compare it. Every day from the field in your office, you get the progress. Today we work from RD 0 plus 300 to 0 plus 900. So this is the progress for today. So you have to have the feedback. So progress reports, either daily or weekly, fortnightly, monthly, will be required. Generally, I would say when it's a field work, you must have daily progress report. On each day, the site engineer or supervisor should be filling out a predefined pro forma and giving the progress, daily progress. So if you remember technical report writing, you must have studied that there are progress reports, daily progress report, weekly progress report, and so on. So that is the tool of getting the information. I think it is not recommended generally that you use a cell phone or mobile phone and ask. Yes, you can call, you can ask, have an idea, maybe you try to resolve any issues, no problem. You can communicate on cell phone, no problem. But formally, it should be a pro forma which is filled by somebody. It has a name. For example, engineer Arif Khan, site engineer for section 1, which is RD 0 plus 002, 5 plus 00, for example. So he will be signing it, putting the date and so on. Then based on the delays or issues, you will be taking actions. And by the way, if you're getting the progress on daily basis, you must be reviewing it. And when you review it, you will know certain issues are there. You must be taking some corrective actions. Now, let's come to the performance measurement baseline, PMB. To use earned value management, we need primarily to develop a performance measurement baseline. Performance measurement baseline. So baseline primarily is to measure the performance. If you don't have a baseline, if you don't have an original plan, against what you are going to measure? So you need that baseline. So what is the definition of this? An approved, I just gave you, when I asked all of you what is baseline, many of you explained it, and then I explained to you that you are going to prepare a plan which you are going to show it to the stakeholders, the client, PDA, CDA, NHA. If you're a contractor, first you are going to show to your consultant, supervisory consultant who are supervising you. Then it will go to the client as well, the stakeholder, and then it will get finalized and it will be approved. So that is the baseline. An approved integrated scope, schedule, cost, plan. Please remember, if you're using Microsoft Project, if you're using Primavera, if you're using any software tool, that is primarily to do the management. And management of what? Scope. 10 kilometers of road is to be constructed. 5 bridges need to be constructed. 30 culverts need to be constructed. And definitely they will have their own micro detailing and quality standards. So this is a scope of work. Schedule. You can't complete 1 year road project in 10 years. I mean, that should not be the purpose. So the purpose is to complete in time. So that is the schedule. And if you are in time within the scope of work, you're doing the complete job within the within the agreed schedule of 1 year. But what about cost? Is cost 10% high, 15% high, 50% high, 100% more? Not acceptable. So within the cost. So this is the primary objective of PMB. So an approved integrated scope, schedule, cost plan for the project work against which project execution is compared to measure and manage performance. So you see, when you are doing day-to-day project control, you have to be looking into the scope, you have to be looking into the schedule, and you have to be looking into the cost. You are in time, your quality is okay, scope is okay, but the cost is not okay, it is a question mark, problem. You have to keep the budget in mind. So this is the definition of performance measurement baseline. To develop PMB, we need what? Basic, simple, you already know that. You have to create and develop the work breakdown structure. Asim.
Yes, sir.
आपको याद है what is work breakdown structure?
सर एक मतलब प्रोजेक्ट को हम छोटे छोटे एक्टिविटीज में डिवाइड करते हैं सर.
Okay. Arif Khan. Arif. एहतिशाम.
जी सर, याद है.
थोड़ा बता सकते हैं?
सर जैसे आसिम ने बताया सर, प्रोजेक्ट को हम डिफरेंट पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर लेते हैं सर, ताकि उसको मैनेज करना आसान हो जाए सर.
ठीक है, ठीक हो गया, सही हो गया, ठीक है. इमरान वजीर. इमरान वजीर हमारे साथ है कि नहीं? इमरान वजीर प्रेजेंट है कि एब्सेंट है? इमरान. क्यों जबीउल्लाह, इमरान कहीं दूर है? कनेक्शन का इशू लग रहा है?
सर वो गुलिस्तान के इलाके का है सर।
अच्छा, चले इमरान को कुछ देर में तो आवाज पहुंचेगी ना, थोड़ा ब्रेक होगी, लेकिन मैसेज करे बताए कि मौजूद भी है कि नहीं है, क्योंकि लॉक्ड इन तो है वो।
जी सर, जी सर।
और ये बिलावल कहाँ पर होता है?
सर ये गिलगित का है सर।
अच्छा, चलें ठीक है, ओके। So yes, Etisham, you're right. Work breakdown structure is to actually break the entire project into various levels. Various levels. It is important. Project itself is on the top level. Then you have sub projects. Then you have activities. Then you have sub activities. Then you have task. So the grassroots level will be the task, which is assignable, doable, quantifiable. So anyways, yes, this is the work breakdown. So the first thing to do. Then you have to create the schedule. You have to sequence the activities. We have discussed this earlier also, relationship between the activities and so on. You prepare the network of activities. Authorize the budget. Authorize the budget. Budget at completion. It's not complete, it is completion. Just hold on. Let me correct it side by side. Budget at completion. So please remember this terminology. Budget at completion. Okay. BAC. Then is the time phase, the budget, assign the cost. Time phase means if your project requires 1 billion rupees, you're not going to have the 1 billion rupees available on the first day. It is 1 year project, so it will be phased out. It will be phasing of the money will be done. You will budget it daily, weekly, monthly, or fortnightly, whatever is the case. You need to have the cash flow requirement. Define measure of performance. So you have to fix the performance measures. Construct the PMB. Now this is the same. Define the scope, schedule the work, allocate budget. So budget is allocated, and from there you get this type of curve. You see, you have on horizontal axis, you have the time. On the vertical axis, you have the money, the cost, and this is an S type of curve. This is the distribution with respect to time. You see in initially the slope is a less slope, but as you progress, the activity slopes is increasing, means the rate of doing work increases, and near completion it also then slows down. So this is a typical S curve, and because of its shape we call it S curve, or it is called the performance measurement baseline. An S curve is an important project management tool that tracks progress over time. It shows the progress of the overtime graphically and form a historical record of the project trends and variation. So you have the original plan, you have an S curve for that. Then you have an actual working, and you try to track it down. The name is derived from the fact that usually it takes an S shape, okay? With slower progress in the beginning, I just explained, it has a less slope, and then as it progresses, then the rate of doing the work increases. Usually submitted with progress reports, okay? Earned value management, EVM, is based on S curve. So today we are going to see the formulas, lot of formulas. So those will be based, those are actually called the earned value management, EVM, and it is based on S curve. In EVM, S curves, planned, actual, earned are combined to compare a report status at a specific time. So if your project is of 1 year, it started on January 1st. Today is, let's say, 1st of July, for example. Or let's say today is 8th of June. So at 8th of June, we will see backwards what we have done as per our baseline. And based on that statistics, what is our forecast? Are we going to complete the project on 31st of December? Will the cost of completion will be the same as what we planned, or vice versa? So these are the answers which earned value management will give us. So planned, actual, earned. We are going to understand the terminologies. EVM is a project performance measurement technique that integrates project scope, cost, and time. Yes, we know that, we have discussed this. EVM has been called management with the lights on. If you don't have EVM, you can say that you're driving at night, you're sitting in your car or bike without the headlights on. They are off. You're traveling in dark. You can't see. Maybe there is some light of the surrounding, some ambient light is there. You can hardly see maybe 50 meter or 10 meter or 30 meter, but you can't see 200 meter or 150 meters because your headlights are off. So if you have EVM in place, it means that while you're driving your project management car, you have turned on the headlights and you can see ahead. Otherwise, you can't see ahead. एहतिशाम समझ आई बात?
जी सर।
समरा, आपको बात समझ आई जो मैंने बोला?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Osama, do you get my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So earned value management has proven itself to be one of the most effective performance measurement and feedback tools for managing projects. One of the very effective tools. EVM can play a crucial role in answering management questions that are critical to success of every project. For example, first question: Are we ahead of or behind schedule? Very fundamental. Now you will say, why we should be knowing it? No, you can't know. If it is a project of 1 year and there are hundreds of activities happening every day or in a week, you really can't know that you are ahead of that. It's not simply possible. Concreting is happening, piling is happening, some embankments are being formed, compaction is being done, clearing and grubbing of the road is happening somewhere, steel fixing is under process, procurement of cement is underway. So you really don't know where you are. I'm telling you, you can't, it is just not possible. You can have a feel, you can have a hunch, but you really don't know. You need to have a quantifiable numbers with you, that how much numbers you are ahead or behind the schedule. So are you ahead of the schedule or are you behind the schedule? This is the fundamental question. Without EVM, you might be right, you might be wrong. How efficiently are we using our time? Now the second question: what is our efficiency? Again, number crunching, quantification. How efficient we are? We are 100%, we are 99%, we are 90%, we are 80%, 50%, 10%. What is our efficiency in terms of time? Third, when is the project likely to be completed? Today is 8th of June. In certain activities, we are ahead of the schedule. In certain activities, we are behind the schedule. So almost 6 months gone. Now what is the forecast? We don't need a guess. We don't need a guess. I'm a project manager with 23 years of experience. I don't want, my guess is guess, but somebody needs a real formula or number crunched out of something with proof that yes, this is my forecasted date. Am I going to complete on 15th of December, or it is going to be completed on 15th of January or in time? Question: are we currently under or over budget? Cost: what is the situation right now? And by this time, we should have spent, like, out of 1,000 million, 1 billion, for example, 450 million should have been the expenditure. What is the situation? How efficiently are we using our resources? Are we wasting our lot of resources? My labor is just sitting and doing very less work because there is no work actually for them to do. My road roller, the excavators and all those equipment is idling a lot. So I need to know, what is the remaining work likely to cost? Okay, today up till now, we have spent 480 million rupees. What will be the expected cost of completion after almost 6 months and 8 days. What is the forecast? We need to have an answer, scientific answer. What is the entire project likely to cost? Entire project. This is remaining work. This is the remaining work. And then the question is, entire project. How much will be under or over budget? Again, a very fundamental question. Plus, how much plus percentage or negative percentage? So there are three basic elements of earned value management system or earned value analysis, EVM or EVA. EVA means earned value analysis, also called performance measurement indicators. One is called planned value. Please remember now, don't forget this. Planned value. Salman, आवाज आ रही है? Salman Khan. Salman Khan. Salman.
हेलो सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आ रही है सर? और
ओके गुड, समझ भी आ रही है?
सर थैंक यू।
ओके गुड। निसार, मोहम्मद निसार, आवाज क्लियर है?
यस सर, आवाज क्लियर है।
और समझ भी आ रही है अभी तक?
यस सर, यस।
नहीं, आप कोई क्वेश्चन और पूछ सकते हैं कि सर फलानी चीज समझ नहीं आई।
सर होगा तो पूछेंगे।
ओके गुड। इरफान, मोहम्मद इरफान।
यस सर, आवाज आ रही है।
और अभी तक क्लियर है? कोई कंफ्यूजन तो नहीं है इस वक्त तक?
यस सर, क्लियर है।
ओके गुड। फारूक, मोहम्मद फारूक।
यस सर।
अभी तक क्लियर है?
यस सर, क्लियर है सर।
ओके गुड। मोहम्मद अब्बास।
यस सर, आवाज आ रही है और क्लियर भी है सर।
ओके गुड। मोहसिन।
जी सर,
मोहसिन
क्लियर है सर।
अभी तक क्लियर है ना? कंफ्यूजन तो नहीं है?
नो सर, नहीं है सर।
ओके गुड मोहसिन। मजर। मजर।
ये सर, आवाज आ रही है सर।
और क्लियर है कि नहीं?
ये सर, क्लियर है।
काशिफ।
ये सर, क्लियर है।
ओके गुड। बस इसके बाद से जो अभी चीजें आ रही है मैथमेटिक्स में, वी आर एंटरिंग नाउ इनटू मैथमेटिकल डोमेन। अब मैथमेटिक्स की चीजों को अब थोड़ा देखते हैं, फार्मूलाज वगैरह। लेट्स सी। सो द फर्स्ट वन इज द प्लान्ड वैल्यू, also called the budgeted cost of work schedule, BCWS, but anyways in short we call it planned value. Then is the earned value, budgeted cost of work performed. This is scheduled, this is performed, but as per the budget. Third is the actual cost of work performed. Both are performed, confusing. Both are performed. This is actual and this is as per budget. I will make it clear in the coming slide, don't worry. So there are three important basic parameters. Planned value, your baseline. 1 year ago, you planned that your project will be started on 1st January 2021 and it will go like this, go like this, go like this. On 8th of June 2021, 50% work will be completed. This was the planned, and 500 million would have been spent. This was the planned. Then is the earned. As per the budget, on 8th of June, how much percentage would have been there and how much cost. And then is the actual. I will make it clear. Just hold on. So what is planned value? The sum of budgeted amount of cost of all work scheduled to be accomplished in a given period. This was your khwaish, this was your plan, this was your intent, this was your planning. So we call it planned value, PV. Earned value, the sum of, we are talking of cumulated values, summation. The sum of budgeted, which is planned, amount of cost for the work completed in a given time period. At any particular day X, at any particular day, for example today, 8th of June, what is the situation? This is as per budget. Slightly still confusing, but just hold on, it will get clear. When I show you the figure in the next slide, you will be clear. But just remember for now, that one is the planned, one is the earned. And what is the third one? Actual cost. The actual cost incurred. What is the meaning of incurred? Shahrukh.
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of incurred?
Sorry, sir. No idea.
Okay. Shafullah, do you know what is the meaning of incurred? Shafullah.
सॉरी सर
ओके नो प्रॉब्लम. आज लेट आए हैं शफीला मेरे ख्याल में. शफीला आज लेट आए हैं मेरे ख्याल में कि नहीं?
नो सर, मैं तो सवेर से आया हूँ सर.
अच्छा, फिर मैंने पता नहीं क्यों मुझसे मिस हो गया, भूल गया हूँ. ओके नो प्रॉब्लम. एनीबॉडी?
नो सर, टाइम पे आया था, पहले भी आप
ओके बस पूछा होगा, बस मेरे ज़हन से निकल गया. ओके थैंक यू. ओके Samra, what is the meaning of incurred?
Sir, I don't know.
Okay. Sara Usman, what is the meaning of incurred?
नहीं पता.
जी?
नहीं पता.
नहीं पता. Usama?
Sorry, sir. I don't know.
नहीं पता. Salman Khan.
यस सर.
What is the meaning of incurred?
सर इसका मतलब है सर खर्च करना.
वेरी गुड. गूगल में चेक किए कि वैसे पता था?
सर गूगल में चेक किया.
देखिए ना, गूगल का मसला ये हो गया हुआ है, बात तो और कोई नहीं है. तो जवाब देते हुए तो आप वहां से पढ़ के दे देंगे, देन यू विल नॉट रिमेंबर आफ्टर 1 आवर या 1 डे. जब आपसे पूछेंगे आप भूल चुके होंगे. तो इसलिए मैं क्लास में ये कहता हूं स्टूडेंट्स को कि प्लीज डोंट यूज गूगल, यूज योर ओन मेमोरी. मैंने अभी समरा से पूछा, कईयों से पूछा, दे सेड नो वी डोंट नो. बस नो प्रॉब्लम, नो इशू. लेकिन जब आपको मैं फिर बताऊंगा तो यू विल रिमेंबर. अब आप जब गूगल का सारा ले लेंगे बैसाखी का, तो ये होगा कि भूल जाएंगे. ठीक है ना? अनलेस कि आप अपने तौर पे खुद डेली कोई स्टडी कर रहे हो, डिक्शनरीज पढ़ रहे हो, वोकैबुलरी इंप्रूव कर रहे हो, वो एक अलग चीज है. लेकिन इस तरह ना किया करें. इस तरह ये करने से आपका नुकसान है. अच्छा, एनीवेज आपने ठीक बता दिया. इनकर्ड मींस something which has been spent, something which has been utilized, something which has been accrued, something which has been consumed. So it is telling you the actual cost incurred, जो आपके ऊपर पड़ गई है, जो आपके ऊपर खर्च हो चुकी है, जो लग चुकी है. The actual cost incurred in accomplishing the work performed with a given time period. तो एक ये actual हो गया, ये आपका ख्वाब था, प्लान था, ख्वाहिश थी. और ये फिर एक्चुअली क्या हुआ, बट एज पर दी बजट, एज पर दी ख्वाहिश, एज पर दी प्लान. अभी आपको मैं आगे दिखाता हूं, क्लियर करते हैं कि क्या है. ओके, लेट्स सी दिस simplistic form of a sort of a bar chart. You have 4 activities. Activity A, B, C and D. Activity A has 18 units, 18 days, 18 hours, and 18 units of work. It can be anything, man months, man days, hours, whatever. Activity B is planned to have 10 days, for example. Let's say these units are days, for example. Activity C has 20 units. Activity D has 40 units. Right? Now, X is the day. Let's say this is the 8th June 2021. Today, 8th of June. This entire project is, let's say, for example, I don't know, yes, it finishes somewhere over here. Let's say like this. Let's say this is 12 months. Now, this 12-month project originally had this plan. Today is X day, which is 8th June. Tomorrow, X will shift to 9th June. After 1 week, it will shift to 15th June. No problem. So X is changing actually. On any particular day, you want to see what is there. So today is 8th June and this is X, and we are doing the analysis of our project. Now let's see. what has actually happened? So planned value is what? If you see, okay, before I go, I'm sorry, hold on. No, I'm going too much fast. Forget about this. Just let's go to your software, Primavera or MS Project or any other software which you are using. Can you please tell me what is the difference between A and D? See this strip and see this strip. I'm referring to strip A and I'm referring to strip D. Strip means this sort of a bar, this horizontal bar. D and A. What is the difference between the two? Graphically. Anyone? Anyone पे तो पता नहीं बोलेगा कि नहीं बोलेगा, मुझे नाम ही लेना पड़ेगा.
सर जब ए खत्म हो जाएगा तो उसके बाद डी शुरू हो जाएगा.
हसन नहीं, हसन मैं ये कह रहा हूं ए और डी को अगर आप उनकी स्ट्रिप्स को देखें, उनके बार्स को देखें, तो आपको ग्राफिकली ग्राफिक्स की बात हो रही है. फॉरगेट अबाउट प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट, ग्राफिक्स. आपको क्या फर्क नजर आ रहा है दोनों में? एनीवन?
ग्राफिक का क्या मतलब?
सर ये एक्टिविटी नंबर ए जो है वो ऑलमोस्ट कंप्लीट हुई है.
नहीं, एक मिनट जबीला एक सेकंड. जबीला आप प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट में जा रहे हैं, ठीक जा रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं थोड़ा सा स्लो होना चाह रहा हूं ताकि बाकी भी समझ जाएं. मैं फिलहाल ग्राफिक्स की बात करूं. हसन तो इस पे कंफ्यूज हो गया, सर ग्राफिक्स का क्या मतलब है? हसन को तो अभी ये भी नहीं समझाना है कि व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय ग्राफिक्स. जबीला तो आगे चला गया ना, व्हिच आई एग्री, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड यू. मुझे अंदाजा हो गया, यू नो, बट आई वांट टू गो स्टेप बाय स्टेप सो दैट एवरीबॉडी इज फॉलोइंग अस. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस ऑफ ग्राफिक्स? जबीला आप बताएं, ग्राफिक्स पे बताएं, छोड़े प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट. व्हाट इज द ग्राफिकल डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू? ए और डी में क्या फर्क है?
ग्राफिक्स में
जी बताएं. ग्राफिक्स का मतलब पिक्चर में, दोनों की जो पिक्चर है ए और डी में, जो ये स्ट्रिप्स हैं, दोनों में क्या फर्क नजर आ रहा है आपको?
सर ए
सर
मतलब
ये ए जो है वो सॉलिड है.
एक सेकंड, एक मिनट, हसन को मौका देते हैं. जबीला एक सेकंड, हसन को मौका. जी हसन, आप बोलें.
सर ये जो ए एक्टिविटी है वो सॉलिड है.
यस यस.
और दूसरे जो एम्प्टी है.
यस. अजमतुल्लाह माइक ऑन करके बोले. अजमतुल्लाह ठीक कह रहा है, अजमतुल्लाह भी ठीक कह रहा है. ए इज सॉलिड and D is hollow without any shade. There is no shade. There is no, क्या कहते हैं इसको AutoCAD में, there is no hatch. D is not hatched and A is hatched. Solid. Now my point is, Zabila will now explain. अब Zabila को अब मौका देता हूं कि Zabila आप बताएं कि ये हैचिंग और नो हैचिंग का क्या मतलब है. ये बताएं, उसको छोड़ें ए और डी को, बस सिर्फ ये फर्क बताएं. फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन.
सर हैचिंग का मतलब ये है कि ये ऑलमोस्ट कंप्लीट हो चुका है. जो नॉन हैचिंग वाला पार्ट है सर, ये मतलब
जबीला मेरा क्वेश्चन समझे. देखें आप समझ रहे हैं लेकिन अब आगे की तरफ भाग रहे हैं. मेरा क्वेश्चन समझे. मैं देखें, माय क्वेश्चन इज, आई एम रिपीटिंग द क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ए हैच्ड स्ट्रिप एंड अनहैच्ड स्ट्रिप या बार? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? आप सही बता रहे हैं लेकिन आप थोड़ा आगे चले गए ना, थोड़ा रुक, स्टेप बाय स्टेप चले. जबीउल्ला क्या हो गया?
यस सर.
करें ना एक्सप्लेन. आप ठीक ठाक चल रहे थे, आप क्या हो गया?
तो जो समझ आ रही थी वो मतलब अभी आप कह रहे हैं कि इसको मतलब डिफरेंस करें, तो डिफरेंस तो सर ये है.
एक सेकंड दे मुझे ये सेंटर. अच्छा जी, तो ज़बीउल्लाह बताना चाहेंगे कि मैं आगे चलूं?
सर जी H मीन जो कंप्लीट हुआ है सर, और दूसरा इनकम्प्लीट है।
नहीं, अभी भी सवाल का देखें, आप बातें सही बता रहे हैं लेकिन मेरे सवाल का जवाब पूरा देखिए, अभी मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूं। देखिए अब ये भी समझे, ये प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द वे ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन। ठीक हो गया ना, कि जब आप फील्ड में होंगे तो आपको कोई क्वेश्चंस होंगे तो आपने उनका जवाब देना होगा, तो टू द पॉइंट प्रिसाइज होगा। तो ज़बीउल्लाह आप ठीक कर रहे हैं, मैं आपको ये नहीं कह रहा आप गलत जवाब दे रहे हैं, लेकिन एग्जैक्ट आंसर नहीं है, यू आर गिविंग समथिंग एल्स। देखिए याद रखिए, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ हैच एंड व्हाट इज द मीनिंग विदाउट एनी हैच। सो द पॉइंट इज, whenever an activity is progressing, the progress is shown by the hatch. That is the answer. आप कहते हैं complete, तो complete का मतलब तो आप वो बताना चाह रहे हैं कि A एक्टिविटी मुकम्मल हो चुकी है और B अभी बिल्कुल जीरो है. So that is not the precise answer. This is the answer for this A and D, but in general, hatching shows the progress which is there. So if any activity has zero progress, there will be zero hatch. If there is the activity is at 15%, so the hatch will be up to 15% of the length of the total. So hatching shows the progress. That is my point. ज़बीउल्लाह, आप समझे मेरी बात?
जी सर, वो तो मैं इसलिए बता रहा था कि वो एक्टिविटी ऑलरेडी कंप्लीट हुआ है। अगर हम
ज़बीउल्लाह, आप आगे जा रहे हैं ना, हम देखें, हम स्टेप बाय स्टेप चले ना। मैंने तो शुरू में आपने जब एक जुमला बोला था मुझे समझ आ गई कि यू नो दैट, बट मेरा पॉइंट था कि आप स्टेप बाय स्टेप चलें, बाकियों को भी समझ आए। तो आप जो मैं आपसे सवाल पूछता हूँ, आप उससे 3 स्टेप आगे जाके मुझे जवाब दे रहे, विच आई एम नॉट लुकिंग फॉर। आई एम लुकिंग फॉर बेबी स्टेप्स, छोटे छोटे कदम लेके फिर हम कंक्लूड करें कि नाउ we can say that activity A is 100% complete, activity D is 0%. अब ये आखिर की बात है और आप शुरू में मुझे ये आंसर दे रहे हैं। Okay, anyways, let's move. Okay, now coming back to our class. तो आपने इसका मतलब है अभी तक प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट में सॉफ्टवेयर में ये चीज नहीं की हुई है, प्रोग्रेस अपडेट करना। Am I right, शफीउल्लाह? शफीउल्लाह, उसामा?
जी सर, प्राइमवेरा में इतनी क्लासेस नहीं हुई हूँ सर।
जी दोबारा बोलें शफीउल्लाह।
हेलो सर, आवाज आ रही है मेरी सर?
जी आ रही है। शफीउल्लाह, आपका लैग है।
सर प्राइमवेरा में अभी इतना काम नहीं किया सर।
ठीक है शफीउल्लाह, आपका थोड़ा सा लैग है। उसामा मुझे बता
पहले 3 to 4 क्लास तो बिल्कुल।
ओके जी उसामा।
सर हम प्राइमवेरा की सर इतना प्रोग्रेस नहीं करेंगे सर सॉफ्टवेयर में सर।
अच्छा चले, बस ठीक हो गया, मुझे अंदाजा हो गया। याद रखें कि जब आप किसी भी एक्टिविटी को MS प्रोजेक्ट में, तो आई रिमेंबर व्हेन यू डबल क्लिक एनी एक्टिविटी, ए डायलॉग बॉक्स ओपन्स and it's asked that how much percent it is complete. You put the percent and it can be a hatch. You can change the style. You can make a small strip inside the main big strip. So there are a number of different ways of doing it. Sometimes it can be solid hatch. Sometimes it can be like this partial hatch. It can be a small barik thin line inside that. So there are many ways of representing it. But the point is it shows you the progress. Now coming to our question. Okay. Now let's see. For on day X, planned value is what? For activity A, you should have completed 18 units. So you see, yes, 18 units are complete. This is the progress, complete. For activity B, this is A, now this is B. Now you are standing at X. How much should have been what should have been the progress as per the plan? Usama.
Sorry sir, repeat your question sir.
जी
सर क्वेश्चन जरा रिपीट कर ले सर, I was distracted sir.
X डेट पे 8 जून को एक्टिविटी B जो है उसकी कितनी प्रोग्रेस, उसकी कितनी प्लान्ड वैल्यू है? On X
10 होनी चाहिए सर।
yes 10। अच्छा, X डेट के ऊपर C की कितनी वैल्यू होनी चाहिए? C की
16।
yes 16। और X डेट के ऊपर how much should have been the D activity?
6।
yes। So when you sum them up, it is 50. So budgeted cost for day X is 50. This is the planned value. Planned. This was your plan. Okay. Now next, earned value. Earned value. Usama, help me out. On A, how much you have earned?
18 out of 18, sir.
You're absolutely right. Then
Activity B would be 8 out of 10.
activity B will be yes. The actual progress is 8. So this is 18 plus 8. And then what about C?
14.
Yes, 14. And by the way, what was your what should have been the value for B on X date?
10.
Yes, and you are 8 actually. For C, it should have been 16, but you are 14. And what about D, Usama? How much should have been? 0. 0 is the actual, whereas you were having a plan of 6, right? So if we, yes, 18, 8, 14, and 0. So this is 40. This is the earned value. Earned value. 50 was planned, but as per the schedule on day X, you are only 40. And now let's go to the final one. Actual cost. Now, actual cost is not visible over here, but you know what I can do is, for example, I can say instead of 18, let's say it was 20. Let's say instead of 8, it was 9. Let's say instead of 14, it was 16. Actual. So how much it will become? 16 plus 9 plus 20 is how much?
45.
45. For example, I mean, it can be anything. This is depending upon the actual situation on ground. So instead of spending 18 million rupees or 18,000 rupees or 1800,000 rupees, you spend 20,000 rupees or 20,000, whatever is the unit. So this is 45. So these are three things, separate thing. I hope it is clear. Now this will form the basis for our lot of calculations. Now let's see it from another way. This is your budgeted. This is your planned PV. This is day X today, 8th of June. This is your earned value. As per project plan, you are somehow behind. We just saw the example. You are behind. But in reality, the cost spending is more because taxes are increased, fuel cost is more, there are slippages, delays, etc., etc. So actual spending is more. So what is the conclusion? This is the difference. This is what? This is the planned value. This is the earned value. And this is the actual cost. So this one is behind the schedule. And this one is the over budget. Got it? Usama?
Yes, sir. Graphically, sir, अच्छा explain हो गया sir.
Yes. क्या कह रहे हैं? Sorry, मैं समझा नहीं क्या कह रहे हैं?
ग्राफ से अच्छा एक्सप्लेन हो गया सर.
Yes. ग्राफ से एक इजीली समझ आ गई. अच्छा. The planned value PV, earned value EV, and actual cost AC can be used to analyze the current status of project and forecast its likely future. Now, from these values, and we will see, find out the current status, and then we are going to make the forecast. Current status, lot of statistics will be drawn from here, and then we are going to make the forecast. That what is the expected future values. Now, variances. Schedule variance will be calculated, which is denoted by SV. Cost variance will be denoted by CV. And variance at completion will be VAC. Indices. There are certain indices, indicators, indices. Schedule performance index, SPI. Cost performance index, CPI. To complete performance, TCPI. To complete. The rest of the work, to complete that, what is the performance required? What should be the index for that? Forecasts are what? Time estimate at completion, EACT. Estimate at completion, EAC. And estimate to complete, ETC. Now let's see. Earned value management, performance analysis, forecasting. We are looking into this. These variance indices and forecasts can be used to answer the key project management questions discussed above. Okay, what are the questions? What are the project management questions? How are we doing time-wise? Are we ahead or behind the schedule? How efficiently are we using the time? When are we likely to finish? Now, for this first question, are we ahead or behind the schedule? Schedule variance will tell you. How efficiently we are using the time? Schedule performance index will tell you. When forecasting, time estimate at completion, EACT will tell you about that. How are we doing cost-wise? This was time-wise. This is cost-wise. First question, are we under or over budget? Cost variance will tell you. How efficiently are we using our resources? Efficiency of utilization of resources. Cost performance index. This one was how efficiently we are using the time. Schedule performance index. Your time efficiency. This is your cost efficiency. Both can be different. Certain activities might have less cost impact. So their cost efficiency might be not that much, not an issue. But certain values might be almost in time, but their cost implication is very high. So you may get the very high cost index value indicator. How efficiently must we use? So now guidance is being sought. What should we do? So you will use the to complete performance index, TCPI. What is the project likely to cost? What is the expected cost? So estimate at completion. Will we be under or over the budget? Fundamental question. Variance at completion. How much will be above or below the expected budget? What will be the remaining work cost? Remaining work. Whatever is done, but what about the remaining work? So estimate to complete, ETC. So this is the entire budget, project budget, and this is for the remaining part. एहतेशाम
जी सर।
क्यों जी, कुछ समझ आ रही इन बातों की?
यस सर, आ रही है।
कंफ्यूज तो नहीं है?
नहीं सर।
श्योर?
यस सर।
जबीउल्ला?
जी सर।
कंफ्यूज तो नहीं हो भाई?
नहीं सर, नहीं सर।
ओके। नाश्ता किया है कि नहीं किया आज जबीउल्ला ने?
नहीं सर, डायरेक्ट बैठा हो सर।
अच्छा
जी सर।
ओके। यासिर, इज इट क्लियर? यासिर शाह, क्लियर?
जी सर।
ओके। आरिफ, इज इट क्लियर?
यस सर, क्लियर।
Okay. Let's move. Now, this is the data. Basic data. BAC. What is that? BAC. Budget at completion. It represents the original project budget. आज आप बैठे हुए एक प्रोजेक्ट को प्लान कर रहे हैं, which you are expecting to start on 1st of November 2021. So you today finalized your plan. So certain budget has been fixed. So that is BAC. Next is AC, right? And then EV and then PV. I just explained. Then you calculate the variances. Then you calculate the indices. And then you calculate the forecast. And these are the formulas. So what I would want is, I will just give you very quickly go through these formulas just to give you an idea. And then after certain slides, there are some solved problems. Zabiullah, I would want all of you to please make it as not as a home assignment, but as a homework. Home assignment actually means officially you have to submit me back and we are going to grade it and put it in the folder. But that is not the point. I would want you to do a homework, which means please do it yourself by these are solved problems. ठीक है Zabiullah?
Okay, sir.
And then I will switch to some other miscellaneous topics which I want to finish today. Okay, schedule variance. Are we ahead or behind the schedule? It is shown deviation from the planned work. It is not a measure of changes in cost. It is calculated. Okay, well, let's see. Plus value means ahead and minus value means behind. So SV is equal to EV minus PV. 40 minus 50 minus 10 unfavorable, which means you are behind. Schedule variance, SV in percentage, is equal to SV by PV. So minus 10 by 50, minus 20%, again unfavorable. Means project is 20% behind the schedule. Schedule performance index. How efficiently are we using the time? EV over PV, 40 by 50, 0.8, unfavorable. It should be 1 or more. It means work is being accomplished at 80% efficiency. In other words, by the way, how many days of work generally are there in a per day? How much? Zabiullah? Yes. If you are working 5 days per week, then 8 hours per day is the typical load, which makes about 40 hours per week. This is the international norm and standard, typical. So that means if you have an efficiency of 80%, that means if you have a mason who is working for 8 hours, when you multiply by 0.8, it becomes 6 hours and 24 minutes. So practically that means your mason is effectively working 6 hours 24 minutes. The rest of the 1 hour and how much? 36 minutes are being sort of wasted or unutilized. That is your efficiency. And it is unfavorable. By the way, it can be a debate that what should be this efficiency in a typical project, but forget about that right for now. But the point is, this is an indicator showing you that you are falling behind. Time estimation at completion. This is the formula. When you put the values into it, 88 by 0.8, 88 by 12. So your project, which was supposed to be completed in 12 months, now the data shows it will be completed in 15 months. Now please keep in mind the numbers which you have calculated from your actual values of today, X date, 8th June to 2021. Based on that, the forecast is 15 months. If from today onward you become faster and you recalculate after, let's say, 1 month, maybe it comes out to be 14.5 months, for example. And if you are slower further, maybe it goes to 16 months. It depends. So based on the data, it is forecasting you that in how much time are you going to complete it. So this means that 3 months will be extra. Cost variance. This is the formula. -5, it is unfavorable. This number can be expressed as percentage by dividing. So -5 by 40, so 12.5. So this means that 12.5% you are over budget. Task performance indices, you calculate it also the same way. 40 by 45, 0.889. This means that project is over budget. This means project has a cost efficiency of about 88%, or 0.88 worth of work for every dollar spent. So when you spend $1, instead of getting the effect of $1, you get effect of 88 cents, 0.88. So when index is greater than 1, you are under cost. When it is equal to 1, you are on cost. When you're less than 1, it is over costing. This is CPI. And for SPI, it is ahead of schedule, on schedule, and behind the schedule. So please remember the actual data you are going to use and put in these formulas. This is just, sort of a very quick dummy exercise just to give you that this is how things are done. To complete performance index. This is the formula. Now, it helps you to determine the efficiency that must be achieved. How much efficient should you be for the remaining work from this point onward? you have to be 112% from the planned value. By the way, from the planned value. And now what it says, this means for a project to achieve BAC, performance must improve from your current performance is 0.88 and you have to go to 0.12. Please keep in mind, 12% if I said was from the original one, but in reality you are at 88%. So just imagine that you need a lot of hard work actually to reach to that level, to be in time. Estimated cost at completion. So again, the same way, it gives you 99 estimate to complete. You put this 54. Variance at completion minus 11 means additional cost will be required. Over budget by 12.5%. Now this is the example which you can, I think you do it, please, you do it yourself. I want to switch to the other topic. You have a planned value. This is BAC. No, sorry. This is BAC, 230,000. This is PV, earned value, actual cost, completion time is 12 months. So you need to calculate all these things. Please follow this. I hope you can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Shafiullah, kar lenge, try karenge, solved example.
Inshallah, sir.
Zabiullah?
जी सर इंशाल्लाह कर लेंगे सर.
ठीक है, इसको आप कर लेंगे. और जबीउल्लाह, इस वक्त स्टूडेंट्स मेरे ख्याल में 29-30 हैं, तो एक अटेंडेंस ले ले. वो मेरी आज जो अटेंडेंस की जो ऐप है वो समहाउ ये गूगल ने अपडेट किया, वो काम नहीं कर रही है.
सही है सर, मैं स्क्रीनशॉट लेता हूँ सर.
स्क्रीनशॉट अभी ले लें. 29 के करीब स्टूडेंट्स हैं और भेज दें इरफान को भी और मुझे, और डेट जरूर लिखें साथ में.
सही है सर. ओके सर.
अच्छा, मैं दूसरा लेक्चर का दूसरा पार्ट मिसलिनियस टॉपिक्स है, उसको जरा पुल आउट करता हूं. अच्छा जबीलो, जब तक ये मैं लेक्चर निकाल रहा हूं, हुआ इस तरह के पिछले मंडे को तो मैं इस्लामाबाद में था, हमारी कोर्ट की मीटिंग थी, तो मैंने वहीं से पीसी के ऑफिस से क्लास ले ली थी इनकी, अपना दूसरे सेक्शन की. और इस लेक्चर के साथ आप दोनों सेक्शन बराबर हो गए. हमें अब एक मेकअप क्लास भी लेनी है. मैं इरफान से बात करूंगा, हो सकता है इस हफ्ते नहीं, अगले वीक में फिर हम प्लान कर लेंगे ताकि सबको पहले से अंदाजा हो, तो फिर हम किसी कन्वीनियंट टाइम पे अपना एक जो मिस क्लास है उसको हम इकट्ठा उसी तरह करके ताकि वो हम कर लें. यानी कोशिश होगी कि डी और ई एक साथ हो जाए ताकि मेरे एक ही गो में दोनों का ये लेक्चर पूरा हो जाए. क्या ख्याल है इस बारे में?
सही है सर, इंशाल्लाह कर लेंगे सर.
तो लेकिन जबीउल्लाह आपने ज़हन में रखना है, इरफान को भी कह दे, मैं भी बोलूंगा, नेक्स्ट वीक में भले वो वेडनेसडे हो, थर्सडे हो, फ्राइडे हो, जो सबको दोनों सेक्शंस को सूट करे, हम वी मस्ट गेट ओवर दैट मिस्ड क्लास.
सही है सर, मैं इरफान से को मैसेज कर देता हूं सर.
ठीक हो गया.
ओके सर, शुक्रिया.
ये आपको नजर आ रहा है कि नहीं नजर आ रहा अभी?
सर फिलहाल कुछ शो नहीं हो रहा सर.
अच्छा, मैं अभी शेयर करता हूँ. अब कुछ नजर आ रहा है?
जी सर, बिल्कुल.
ओके, गुड.
यस सर, शो रहा है सर.
ओके, थैंक यू. अच्छा, नाउ these are miscellaneous topics. Some of them are generally you are aware, but I will very quickly go through it. I'm more interested in the ABM, the work breakdown structure which we have studied. It has a very strong correlation with that. I will try to explain that. But let's see project appraisal. Do you know what is a project appraisal? Anyone? What is the meaning of forget about project appraisal. What is the meaning of appraisal?
To reject.
जी, दोबारा बोलें.
Reject.
Reject? नहीं, मुझे समझ नहीं आई, आवाज क्लियर नहीं हुई.
Reject sir.
अच्छा, reject. Okay, आसिम कह रहा है reject. Anybody else?
Estimation.
Estimation. Okay. Anybody else?
Assessment.
जी. अजमत क्या कह रहे हैं?
Assessment, sir.
एनालिसिस जायजा
Assessment. Yes. Appraisal actually means that you look into something, you do certain analysis, you weigh it, you weigh it, you quantify it, you judge it, you make certain decisions based on your analysis. So appraisal of a project actually means that you are critically reviewing that project in order to see whether it should be approved, it should be deferred, or it should be rejected. So these are three possible outcomes of an appraisal process. Either it gets accepted, either it gets deferred, or either it gets rejected, not approved. So appraisal is a very critical process of evaluation. It's very important, and it happens for all the public spending money, which is generally there. There is a formal process of appraisal, and in which a lot of things are actually checked. If you pick up the PC1, then PC1 I think has like 15. The older version had 15. 15 serial numbers, parameters against which the person who is preparing the PC1 has to give the information. I think the revised one has more. So when you prepare your project PC1, so the P&D department, planning and development department, they have the engineers and other people, economists as well, who are going to review it. And based on their review, they are either going to accept it or reject it, or maybe defer it with certain suggestions that which need to be made. By the way, I met one of my students who was my student in 2003. How many years? 18 saal pehle. I met him a few days back. He's the deputy chief infrastructure. He's into the appraisal process. My student, I taught them the subject of civil engineering practice or economics. It's almost a similar subject back in 2003. So right now he's doing he is working in P&D department, and he is looking after the infrastructure projects, which are roads, buildings, and bridges. I met him, couple of days back, just over the last weekend. So anyways, the point I'm trying to tell you that आप में से आज जो मेरे स्टूडेंट हैं, इंशाल्लाह आप में से भी कई कल जो किसी डिपार्टमेंट्स में जाएंगे, आप भी इसी तरह अप्रेजल में बैठे होंगे. So who will be appraising the project. So that student Naveed is actually doing the project appraisals. Anyways, so let's come to the main points. Project appraisal is mainly the process of transmitting information accumulated through feasibility studies into the comprehensive form in order to enable the decision maker undertake a comprehensive appraisal of various projects and embark on specific projects or projects by allocating resources. Okay, one thing very important. Feasibility studies. In order to appraise a project, certain studies are required. If you have a PC1 prepared worth 1 billion rupees for a road from Charsada to Mardan, some new road, for example, so there should be certain feasibility studies, certain surveys should have been done, certain engineering design should have been done, design calculation should have been done, and then somebody is going to review it. What is the vehicular count? What is the population being served? What are the areas through which it is passing? Is there any issue of land acquisition or not? Is the land acquired? What is the cost of land acquiring? What are different alternatives? If you are going from Charsada to Mardan, some new highway, why it is going from point A to point C via B? Why not to go from A, D, and B? Different routes are possible. This is A, this is B. Either you go like this, either you go like this. So two options. Why this one or why this one? Alternatives. Economically, financially, constructability, cost, and so on, land acquisition, and so many things. Please remember, climate change is another hot topic of today. climate change? Anybody? What is climate change? Zabiullah, what is climate change?
Yes, sir.
What is climate change?
सर अबू हवा की वजह से जो मौसम तब्दील होता है सर.
Okay, anybody else? Samra, climate change. काशिफ क्या कह रहा है?
सर ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज की वजह से सर एनवायरनमेंट में जो ग्रेजुअल चेंज आता है सर वो.
ओके. समरा कुछ नहीं कहेगी? क्लाइमेट चेंज कुछ अंदाजा है कि नहीं?
सर ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज या नेचुरल एक्टिविटीज से क्लाइमेट चेंज हो तो उसकी वजह.
ओके, ठीक है. आप लोगों ने तीनों ने ठीक कहा. जनरली इट इज अ नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट, बाय द वे. आई मीन maybe human activities, just theoretically, the human activities are affecting positively, but generally the industrialization and development and all these things are creating negative impact on the environment, and that impact is called climate change. For example, glaciers are melting fast. That is one reason of climate change. This is one of the climate change which is happening because of the human activities. Then lot of rainfalls, abnormal rainfalls in a very short span, flash floods, because we have made pervious strata impervious. Lot of impervious. We are making roads, we are making the what you call sidewalks or kya kahenge, shoulders of the road also impervious. So in urban areas, lot of impervious strata. So water does not get seeped into the ground. The ground doesn't get charged. So it just keeps on flowing and accumulating, and urban flooding is happening and other floodings are happening and so on. So this is climate change. So all these things are considered in the project appraisal process. Okay, project appraisal involves comparison of cost and benefits. If benefits exceed cost, the project could be considered. Again, I have mentioned it is pre-investment analysis of a project to determine whether a project should be implemented or not. So before you invest, before you give the money, before you spend the money, you do the analysis that how much it is feasible or not. To extract relevant information from determining the success or failure of a project, to determine expected cost and benefits, to arrive at specific conclusions. It evaluates the desirability, it verifies the hypothesis. So just imagine the project is being evaluated from different perspective. You're trying to gather all these information. Should you invest in this or should you not? What will be the outcomes? What will be the benefits? Another thing which is being now apart from the climate change is also the physically challenged people, disabled people. Are they being considered inclusive in the development project? That has also become part of the appraisal now. Are the women given emphasis in terms of utilization, for example? Just as an example, for example, there is a road which you are planning between Mardan and Charsada. For example, it takes 1 hour drive, for example. Are there reasonable number of restrooms? Are there restrooms available separately for men and women? For example, just very simple example. Yes, generally they are like that, but still it has to be checked. It has to be verified. And for disabled, are there ramps? For children, can they use it? Can they go and use the facilities? So all these things are generally becoming part and parcel of the appraisal process, and projects are reviewed for that. If they are lacking on that, if they are not inclusive, they should be inclusive. They should include each and every person of the society, should not be leaving certain segment of society behind. So this inclusiveness is also checked as part of the project appraisal. So there is a technical analysis, social analysis. These things, for example, which I said, are women equally benefiting? Are disabled equally benefiting? Are children equally benefiting? If not, then socially it can be considered as not viable. Then commercial analysis, how much revenue is being generated, financial, how much cash flow will come and go out, economic analysis, what economic parameters are being considered, what is the discounting rate, what in how much time are we going to recover, and so on. Environmental, I just talked about climate change, for example. That analysis also needs to be seen. I mean, are you going to cut trees? Are you going to do a lot of excavation? Is the river going to be disturbed when you're constructing the bridges? There will be certain divergence happening, and so on. So these are the details of technical, commercial, financial. Please go through this. Can you read it? क्या आप इसको पढ़ेंगे कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Discounting criteria, net present value, IRR, payback period. Okay. Now this part we are going to start from next class. Economic analysis. माइक किसका खुला है भाई साहब? आसिम
जी सर,
आपका माइक खुला है सर, आप माइक ऑन करके बात कर रहे हैं। चले, कोई मसला नहीं। So economic part we are going to do from the next lecture inshallah. उसमें आपको हम what is interest, what are simple interest, compound interest, we are going to do it in quite bit of detail from next class. Environmental impact assessment, EIA, it is also part of it. Okay, now coming to activity-based management, this is where I want to focus now. Now, the question is, what is activity-based management? It is now easier for me to explain. Activity-based management, you can say that it is a modern way of managing. If you remember, when we were discussing the work breakdown structure, I gave you the example of the admission process. Do you remember, Azmat? Azmatullah, do you remember?
जी सर।
आपको याद है जब हमने वर्क ब्रेकडाउन स्ट्रक्चर पढ़ा था, आई गेव यू द एग्जांपल ऑफ एडमिशन प्रोसेस इन यूईटी।
ये सर थोड़ा याद है सर।
थोड़ा याद है, नहीं है याद? एनीबॉडी एल्स? काशिफ याद है?
सर आपने स्टेप वाइज बताया।
हसन कुछ कह रहा है। जी हसन, हसन बोले।
ये सर याद है सर, जो आपने स्टेप वाइज बताया था कि एक एक स्टेप हम फॉलो करते आए।
यस, प्रोसेस बेस्ड अप्रोच की बात की थी।
यस सर।
ओके, गुड। एक्टिविटी बेस्ड मैनेजमेंट इज एक्चुअली, इसको थोड़ा पढ़ लेते हैं। कहता है कि इट इज ए मेथड ऑफ आइडेंटिफाइंग एंड इवैल्यूएटिंग एक्टिविटीज that a business performs using activity-based costing to carry out a value chain analysis or a re-engineering initiative to improve the strategic and operational decisions in organization. आप इमेजिन करें, आप एक कंपनी को ओन करते हैं और आपकी कंपनी जो है सिर्फ सर्वेइंग कर रही है। लेट्स से हसन जो है, हसन शहजाद is the owner of a, let's say, small company who are specializing in surveying. हसन जो है वो सर्वेइंग का काम करता है। सर्वेइंग से मुराद, he has the instruments, total station, GPSs and whatnot, and he performs the precise leveling and precise surveying, topographic sheets and etc. for companies. तो हसन ने जारी बात है एक प्रोसेस डेवलप किया होगा, एक तरीका उसका होगा कि कैसे हम, अगर फॉर एग्जांपल एक मोटरवे का प्रोजेक्ट अगर नया बन रहा है, फॉर एग्जांपल राइट नाउ इट इज इन द प्रोसेस, यू मे नो that a motorway is being planned between Peshawar and DI Khan. Provincial government is working on this project. So let's say Hassan gets the contract of this surveying of this. I don't know, it is 300 kilometer or 290 kilometer, something like, I'm forgetting the distance, but something like that, 200 kilometer plus. Now, Hassan generally would dispatch a team, they will start from one end and go to the other end. So they have certain activities. Now, very consciously, Hassan is working on activity-based management. So he has divided the process, the surveying into various activities. For example, setting up of the benchmarks. For example, Recce survey. For example, ground truthing at the end when you prepare some sheets digitally. Then you move from one side to go to the other side, and so on. Then you do the sounding in the river when there is water body. Now, what we are saying is, if you are doing an activity-based management, what you are doing? Let me read it again. It is a method of identifying and evaluating activities that a business performs. अब imagine करें हसन की कंपनी surveying कर रही है, and we are consciously identifying various activities and evaluating them, doing the analysis of them using activity-based costing. हसन की कंपनी contouring कर रही है. We are going to do the analysis of contouring, not the analysis के 1 inch या 1 meter में गलतियां हैं, but business analysis. हसन ने 200 किलोमीटर में जो contouring का काम था वो 4 महीने में खत्म किया. We are going to do the analysis activity wise. Activity means moving from base office to the site, going back to the base office again in the evening after traveling 50 kilometers, using a jeep or using a car or a motorcycle or on foot, and so on. So we are doing the costing also. Now when we divide the entire process into small activities or tasks, and then we know the cost of each task, we can do the analysis. The most costly job in the entire surveying process was the contouring, for example, or when the total station was being deployed and moved along the certain traverse, that is the most expensive. So now Hassan knows the most expensive activity or task, whatever you call it, is the physical use of the total station when you are moving on a traverse. That is the most expensive. So Hassan does not need to pay attention to the traveling or maybe to the other jobs which are part of the surveying. So he can just focus on that because the 60% cost goes to this portion. So now he can further break down that process, that traveling is there, stay is there, number of people, how many people are involved, what instruments are. For example, he's using a total station which has an accuracy of 1 millimeter, which is only up to 200 meters. It is a plain area. If he has another latest model of an equipment which can work up to 700 meters with an accuracy of 1 mm, maybe 50% time is saved, and if 50% time is saved, so the cost, the overall cost, which is 60% of the total value of the project, comes down to 40%, 20% saving by spending some extra amount on the equipment, which is once done, but it can be reused on other projects as well. So this is called activity-based costing, and using the activity-based costing, you're doing the activity-based management to manage yourself, to make it competitive, to improve it. So this is the cost-wise analysis of your activities. So businesses need to be competitive, businesses need to be less costly so that you maximize your profit. So this is the concept of activity-based management. So activity-based management is using a tool of activity-based costing in order to evaluate, map, and optimize your project. Hassan, clear hua? Hassan?
Yes sir, Zabardast sir.
Okay, good. Kashif?
Yes sir.
Clear hua?
Clear. Yes sir.
Okay, good. Osama?
Yes sir, no problems.
Sarah? Usman?
जी sir, clear.
Okay. Shabir?
Sir, clear.
Okay. So please keep in mind, This is very, very important. I remember I took a course of activity-based costing. It was, I think, 1 week course in Karachi back in 1999. I remember I was in consulting firm and we went from Peshawar to Karachi for this course. It was 1 week course. Very interesting, very important. And you know what? At that time, I remember the trainer who was training us gave us his opinion that at that time, can you imagine when you are flying in an aeroplane, जब आप एक जहाज में सफर करते हैं तो लेट्स सुबह का टाइम है, आपको नाश्ता सर्व होता है और आपको एक फ्राई एग सर्व होता है. मैं 99 की बात कर रहा हूं. तो उसकी कॉस्ट क्या थी उस टाइम पे? टू सर्व 1 फ्राइड एग इन ए ब्रेकफास्ट टू ए पैसेंजर इन एन एरोप्लेन एट दैट टाइम, आई रिमेंबर दैट कॉस्ट वाज 500 रुपीज, 500 रुपए. Because it is just not the cost of that egg, which might be at that time 1 or 2 rupees or 3 rupees maybe, maximum 2 rupees maybe. Buying at 2 rupees, paying taxes maybe 2.5 rupees, then आवाज आ रही है जनाब? आवाज आ रही है?
यस सर.
अच्छा, आई एम सॉरी फॉर द मिस्टेक. मुझे अंदाजा ही नहीं हुआ और आई जस्ट एक्सीडेंटली क्विटेड द क्लास. और जबीला ने कॉल किया ना? जबीला आपने कॉल की? मैं आपका सेव भी करता हूँ, तो मेरे पास था लेकिन पता नहीं सेव नहीं हुआ. तो थैंक यू यार फॉर टेलिंग मी. मैं क्या बात कर रहा था आखिरी जो आपने सुनी मेरी?
सर वो
एग ओवरऑल प्लान.
Yes. So the cost of that egg, because if you are able to measure the activities which you are performing and cost them, so at the end of the day you are able to analyze that where you are spending more and where you are spending less. And now because of computerization, it is very much possible. So you can use your Primavera, your MS project also for your business activities to map them, and then you can figure out which activity is costing you more. So activity based management actually gaining lot of popularity. Airlines are mapping their processes and they then try to optimize. You can control nut by nut, bolt by bolt, just like a car engine, and fine tune your activities. So if it is a service industry like you have, मैंने भी मिसाल दी, हसन की surveying company है. So if Hassan spends 100 rupees on a project, so Hassan knows out of 100, 60 rupees are spent on my, for example, contouring, 20% is spent on my plotting, 10% is spent on my traveling. I mean, just giving you rough examples. So Hassan knows that 60% is a very big. So if you optimize even 10% by doing certain changes, so you bring it down to 50%, so you are saving on that. So activity-based costing is used in activity based management in order to optimize and make your organization efficient. So this is a very very critical tool, and many organizations are switching to that. I was giving you the example of, मैंने जो कराची का आपको मिसाल दी, एक एयरलाइन में जो, when I was in the consulting firm and we were in Islamabad, I did the actual costing of writing a letter for what? When there is a job advertisement from the company, जब हमारी कंपनी एक अखबार में इश्तिहार देती थी, we need engineers या professionals, तो मैंने पूरे प्रोसेस को मैप किया, प्रोसेस ऑफ एडवर्टाइजमेंट, हायरिंग ऑफ पीपल. सो उसमें अखबार में इश्तिहार की क्या कॉस्ट है, somebody writes the letter, उसका टाइम, फिर वो ड्राफ्ट बार बार करता है, some senior person reviews it, and so on. Can you imagine? This I did in 2001, I think so, 2000 or 2001, and the cost of one letter was also like, I don't exactly remember, maybe 800 rupees or 1000 rupees or something like that, writing one letter. So page might be worth 5 rupees, the printing on that might be worth 5 rupees, the total cost is 10 rupees, but the cost of the space, the cost of that, the time which is spent by one person, the other person, then dispatching it, and so on, the overheads, electricity, air conditioning, and so on, security, some contribution coming to that. So activity-based costing is a very, very wonderful technique of measuring. तो आप में से वो लोग जो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट में होंगे और वो लोग जो कंपनीज को ओन करेंगे, उनके लिए एक्टिविटी बेस्ड मैनेजमेंट और एक्टिविटी बेस्ड कॉस्टिंग जो है विल बी ए वंडरफुल टूल टू इम्प्रूव ऑन योर प्रोसेसेस. बट उसकी शर्त ये होगी कि आपने मैप करना होगा और फिर डेफिनेटली डेटा कलेक्ट करना होगा स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्म में, सो दैट यू आर एबल टू डू द एनालिसिस. So this is the crux of the activity based management. I think इसके बाद अगर आप इन बाकी चीजों को पढ़ें तो मुझे लगता है कि it should not be that difficult. Just one thing, operational ABM and strategic ABM. Activity ABM means activity based management. Operational ABM is what? Doing things right. Doing things right. And strategic ABM is what? Doing the right things. ऑपरेशनल एबीएम में आप लोगों को, सबऑर्डिनेट्स को, वर्कर्स को बताते हैं डूइंग थिंग्स राइट, कि जो भी काम करें ठीक तरीके से करें. तो ऑपरेशनल एबीएम उसमें हेल्प करेगी, आपको इंप्रूव करवाएंगे. और स्ट्रेटेजिक एबीएम क्या है कि कौन सी चीजें होनी चाहिए या नहीं होनी चाहिए, कौन सी ठीक चीजें होनी चाहिए. मसलन हसन शहजाद का ऑपरेशनल स्ट्रेटेजिक एबीएम ये होगा कि भाई साहब अब तो सैटेलाइट इमेजेस 100 mm एक्यूरेसी के अवेलेबल हैं, तो मैं क्यों ग्राउंड के ऊपर इतनी बड़ी सर्वेइंग की टीम डिप्लॉय करूं? Why not to go to satellite images rather than doing the physical surveying? तो आपने इंटरनेशनल इमेजरीज खरीदी, उनको प्रोसेस किया, जो कॉस्ट आपको पहले 50 लाख की पड़ रही थी वो आपको 25 लाख की पड़ रही है या 30 लाख की पड़ रही है, बिकॉज ऑफ यूजिंग. सो दिस इज स्ट्रेटेजिक एबीएम. नाउ व्हाट इज ऑपरेशनल एबीएम? वो ये कि सर्वेइंग आप वही कन्वेंशनल कर रहे हैं, लेकिन आपने अपनी ट्रांसपोर्ट की कॉस्ट जो कि बैक एंड फोर्थ मूव करना है उसको किया, या फिर आपने इक्विपमेंट चेंज किया. तो विद इन दैट प्रोसेस आपने राइट तरीके से चीजों को काम किया, तो उसकी वजह से आप अपना इंप्रूव कर रहे हैं. तो ये दो डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स हैं. मेरे ख्याल में इसको आप पढ़ लें तो आपको समझ मजीद और क्लियर हो जाएगा. और टाइम भी हमारा पूरा हो रहा है. अगर किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो प्लीज आस्क. फिर मैं अपनी रिकॉर्डिंग को भी स्टॉप कर लेता हूं इफ देयर आर नो क्वेश्चंस. एनी क्वेश्चंस? एनी क्वेश्चंस? आवाज आ रही है?
जी सर, आ रही है सर.
ठीक है, मेरे ख्याल में क्वेश्चंस नहीं है. मैं रिकॉर्डिंग, जी ठीक है, मैं रिकॉर्डिंग को स्टॉप कर लेता हूं. और अटेंडेंस तो ले ली है ना ज़बीला आपने?
जी सर, मैंने शेयर कर दिया ग्रुप में.